Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. I hope that you guys are enjoying my videos and learning from them. In this one, I wanted to speak to you guys about spiritual deserts. This term actually came up for me a few days ago. I was watching a video on yoga and spirituality, and one of the tenets of it was that spirituality or awakening or consciousness, whatever you want to call it, that journey that we are all on, knowingly or unknowingly, we're all on the same journey. That journey does not always result in positive growth. It's not always about moving forward. In fact, it's all about moving backwards, realizing that you're moving backwards and you need to move backwards in order to learn something, and then moving forwards again. With everything in life, you know how you think that you're going to go into a straight line from point A to point B, and this is what human beings want to do, and this is what human beings think is progress. If we're not moving forward from one point to another, we think that we're moving backwards, and that's a bad thing. But in spirituality or in awakening or in this process that we're on, this process of learning about ourselves, growing and becoming more conscious of our true self, our authentic self, our spirit, on that journey, the main process is not about moving forward, actually. In fact, a lot of times you're going to feel like you are in a slump of sorts. You're on a plateau where you're doing all your practices. You're sitting down every morning and you're meditating. You're sitting down every night and journaling, doing all of the stuff that you're told is necessary on this journey to move forward. You're doing the right things, but still, you wake up in the morning and you feel like there's nothing happening. There are no changes. You feel no growth. You actually feel like you're moving backwards. You feel like you're not making any progress forward. You feel like all the work that you're doing is just for nothing. And I've been through those phases, obviously, myself. That's the reason I can speak about it, is because I've been through phases where I'm sitting down every day to do my work. And it's really important, as I've said before, to do your work every single day, even if it feels like you don't want to do it, even if it feels like you're not making any progress, even if it feels like it's just a waste of time. You just sit down every morning or every evening or every afternoon, whatever time you choose, and you sit down and you do your practice, whatever that practice is for you. Your practice might be a dance movement, or it might be meditation, or it might be going for a long walk through a forest, or it might be taking care of your children, or it might be brushing your teeth in a very mindful manner. Whatever your practice is, in order to become more conscious of yourself, of your true self, that is your practice. And you do it every single morning or every single day, no matter what, right? But as I've said before, sometimes you're going to have those periods, those spiritual deserts, where you are trudging forward through the desert of spirituality, of consciousness, of awakening, and you're walking and you're walking and you're walking, and that oasis that you're looking for of awakening, of being awake, of being conscious, that oasis, you can see it perhaps, or you can't even see it, it's too far away from you right now, but you know that it's there because you've been told that it's there, because other people have walked on the same path as you and they have gotten to that oasis, and you can get there as well. Perhaps not in this lifetime, but eventually you will be able to get there. And you're hoping for progress towards that oasis. You want to take steps forward towards that oasis in that desert that you are surrounded by. As I've said though, there will be moments where you're going to do your practice diligently, properly, every single day. You're going to be one of those conscious people who are going to try so hard and work so hard. And you're going to think to yourself, I'm really trying really hard, but I'm not getting anywhere. It kind of reminds me of those stories of smokers, those smokers that smoke 20 cigarettes a day, 2 packs a day or something like that, and they never get lung cancer, and they're really healthy, and they live to a really long, really old age. And then there are these other people who take care of themselves, who run every single day, who don't smoke, who don't even eat meat, and they die off at the age of 40, And so you think to yourself, but I did everything right, and I did everything that I was supposed to do. Why am I dealing with this stuff, right? I think part of it, I think, it has to do with the fact that maybe this is a test. You know, you to test your mettle, to test how dedicated you are to the path. And I think that's all right, because when you're tested, you know that you're on the right path. I always think of tests as an indication from the universe, that the universe is telling me you're on the right path. I'm testing you because I know that you're on the right path, and I want to make sure that you know that you're on the right path. I want to see how dedicated you are to the path, because if you are dedicated and if you keep on going, then you're going to get there wherever you want to get. And so I always look at tests as a good thing. And I think of spiritual deserts, you know, going through this period of famine, of not knowing if your work is actually even doing anything. You meditate every single day and it feels like you're just not progressing. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. It feels like you're just in the slump, right? And I think of those spiritual deserts as kind of a test of our dedication to the path. Every few months, every few years, you're going to get these tests. Maybe sometimes every few weeks, depending on how often you do your practice. And maybe this is not a test, maybe it's just you going through a slump, but everything that we do in our life, I think, goes through these slump periods. You can't always be on the progress or on a path of progression, right? You can't always be growing all the time. I think you need to go through periods of plateau, because when you go through a period of plateau and then you start growing again, you realize how much the difference is, or what the difference is like, and you realize what growth really feels like. Sometimes you are growing, but you have no idea, because you have nothing to compare it to. You don't know what non-growth feels like, right? And so maybe that's one of the reasons as well we go through these spiritual deserts, to attune ourselves to what it actually feels like to not be growing, to be in a slump, to be on a plateau, to be in a spiritual desert. What does it feel like? Because once you know that, once you know the feeling of not moving forward, of being stuck in a certain spot, of being in that spiritual desert, all of a sudden you realize when you are actually growing, when you get over that spiritual desert, because you will, you're not going to be in that spiritual desert forever unless you stop your practice completely. You're going to keep on moving forward eventually. It might be a week later, or 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, whatever that spiritual desert is, however long it is, eventually you're going to start moving again. And once you do, you're going to realize a difference. You're going to see, oh, now I feel the difference. Now I realize that I'm growing again. It's like the difference between being sick and being well. You know, you don't actually realize how healthy you are unless you go through a period of sickness. Maybe you have a fever, or you have a cold all of a sudden, or you have a cough, or the flu, and you realize, oh my God, I'm feeling really, really sick. But then when you get better again, you realize the difference between being healthy, and you really appreciate being healthy, and you really realize how it is to be healthy in comparison to being sick. That's why I think one of the other reasons why the universe sends these spiritual deserts our way is to make us realize the difference. Otherwise, we would never know if we're making progress or not. We would just be doing our practice without realizing, am I doing anything? Am I going forward? Am I moving backwards? What's going on? I also think that spiritual deserts are a way of the universe letting us know that it's not all about progress. It's not just this journey that we're on. It's not just about taking steps forward. Sometimes actually taking a step backward and realizing how far back you've gone, or how far forward you have come, is a good thing. You realize how much progress you've actually made, because when you step backwards and you actually look at where you are, you realize you were back there, really, really far back there, and now you are here. And that's a big difference in itself. That's a big progressive step that you've already taken. You're here and not back there. And that in itself shows you the difference between where you were, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. I remember my own journey, even 5 years ago, I would say, even a year ago, I would say. I mean, a few months ago, I feel such a difference from where I was even a few weeks ago, a few days ago, to where I am right now, because there's so much progress that's being made right now in my life. So I realize why spiritual deserts can feel a little bit tumultuous and feel really icky. You're thinking to yourself, ugh, I'm working so hard, and there are so many people out there who are not doing anything at all, and I see them making all this progress, and for me, I'm working so hard, I'm trying so hard, and it seems like I'm not making any progress at all. maybe the universe doesn't love me, or things like that. You know, we start going into those things in our head. And that's the reason I wanted to do this video, is to remind you of the fact that there is a reason, a purpose for everything. Even spiritual deserts have a purpose to them, to remind us of things, to remind us of things that we have forgotten, or to teach us things that we've never remembered. So it's actually an important step. If you're going through a spiritual desert right now, it's all right. It's not going to last forever. It's not a lifelong thing. As I said, unless you stop your practice, if you keep on going with your practice in the same dedicated manner, eventually you'll pass through the desert and you get to maybe one of the oases that you're looking for, or maybe you'll get closer to it, or maybe you'll get a glance at it or a glimpse of it, and you'll be able to see that you've made so much more progress than you actually thought you were making. All right? Again, I hope this makes sense. These kind of abstract topics are a little bit hard to talk about sometimes, and I wonder if you guys are getting what I'm trying to say. I hope you are. You are intelligent beings that you're listening to these videos, so I'm sure you are. If you guys have any questions at all about this topic or any other videos that I've done, please message me anytime. All my contact information is in the description below, or you can just comment below. I read every single comment and I reply to every comment as well. Again, thank you for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.